guys, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to another video. For those of you that are new to the channel, my name is Antonio Matwire. I have a 2017 BMW 340i and today I'm putting some H&R Super Sport lowering springs on the BMW. Alright, so today we'll be lowering the car on some H&R Super Sport springs. I got my homie Chase here again to help me out with the install. So obviously the first thing you're going to want to do is jack up the car. We're going to start on the front side because the front side is a little more difficult than the back. So we'll start on the front and then on the back we'll save the easy ones for last. So there's a couple things you want to do. You're going to want to remove this. So this is the sensor to your brake caliper. So you're going to make sure that's removed so when you drop it, it's not connected still. You're going to want to undo this bolt right here. But in order to do that, you're going to need to put a T30, I believe this is. Yep, a T30 in the middle. And then you're going to want to use like a go-through socket like that. And to loosen this bolt right here. And so once you loosen that one as well, you're also going to loosen one down here. Okay, yeah, so you also want to make sure you're moving that bracket out of the way where you see him moving right there. Just so that way once you drop everything, nothing's caught. So for this one up here, like I said, T30 in the middle of it. Then you're going to use a go-through socket. And you just want to just hold on with your right hand while you're turning this one and loosening it. Because if not, it'll just keep spinning if you're not holding that middle portion. So as you can see, I removed the bolt on this one. And the reason why you have to hold the middle portion is because if not, the whole thing will spin. I'm pretty sure it's like a safety mechanism so this doesn't come loose on you while you're driving. So yeah, hold the middle portion, get that bolt off. Once you do that, now we're going to go ahead and remove this bolt right here. But to remove it, you're going to have to hold the other side, which is a 17mm nut, I'm pretty sure. So we're going to hold one side, use an impact gun on the other side, and get that out. This is the bolt that comes out right here. And then, like I said, this is the nut on the other side, so just hold this side while you're moving this bolt. Also, I wanted to mention, make sure you have a jack or something holding up this whole strut suspension, just because when you drop it from up here, you don't want it to just freaking fall. So you want it to be supported by something. So make sure you have something holding it up. All right, so that's for the top portion. Now we're gonna be working up here. So you're gonna want to get all this plastic out of the way. So you're gonna remove these little rivets right here. So I'm just gonna use a flathead to do that. You pull up on them, they pop right out. So yeah, like I said, just kind of pop up on the rivet like that. Should come out. It looks like that. And then same thing with this next one. It just pops right up. And then the bottom of them looks just like that. So once they pop out, I'm gonna go ahead and remove all this. It's a leaf, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. And then you're gonna turn these. Pretty sure either left or right.
I think it's left.
Like a half, yeah, just half, and then it pops right out as well. Alright, so once you get everything off, it should look something like this. When you're doing this install, if you want to disconnect the battery, it wouldn't be a bad idea, just because this is your positive side of your battery. So if you hit it with metal, it's going to spark. But I'm just going to go ahead and use Chase's trick and just put a glove on there, rubber glove, anything, so that way if it does strike with some metal, nothing will happen. Alright, so when loosening these bolts up here, these ones right here are all 13mm, and then you're going to need the E-Torx for these ones, and this is the E18, this one right here. Alright, so this right here you can go ahead and take out like so, and then right here, this is like a little collar that's around here. So what we're going to do is use a spreader tool. We're actually going to just put it in there and spread it, so that way it spreads, and so we're able to get this whole portion off without having to like strain our fingers, because you probably won't even be able to do it with your fingers, to be honest. So make sure you have something that you can get in there and spread it with. So once you got it in there, I just used a ratchet and then tightened it to where, or turned it to where it's spreading, and then just remove the ratchet. So while this is in there, go ahead and start slowly lowering the jack. And then once all the bolts are removed, and then you have everything removed up here, and you start lowering the jack, the whole strut should just come out.
a second.
Yeah. So it was giving us a little trouble taking it out. So what we're gonna try to do is compress the spring with these spring compressors, and so that way, hopefully, when the spring's compressed, it'll give us a little more room to work it down. All right, so we ended up just working it out without the spring compressors, but now he's putting the spring compressors on. You're gonna need these. I have seen some people do them without them, but I wouldn't recommend it. But you're gonna want to compress these so that when you take it off, it doesn't go flying off when you take off this top hat. Alright, so to remove this top hat, we just use an Allen key. I'm pretty sure it's a size 6 Allen key. Put it like that, and then you're going to use the go-through socket again because it has a nut around it. So what you're going to do is put it on the socket, and then find the Allen key middle portion, and then while you're holding the middle, you're going to turn the top just like that. And it looks a little easy right now. We already got it loose, but it's not easy. It's pretty tight. So what we did while I was doing this, I had Chase hold the top hat so it wouldn't spin, and it came loose. So now we got it loose, we'll probably just use an impact gun to get it out the rest of the way. So we just removed the top hat and then loosening up these spring compressors. So now we're literally just gonna replace this spring. So what we're doing now is just putting the Super Sport spring back on the suspension, and then we're gonna compress it so we can get the hat back on. One thing to note when you're putting it back, just make sure it lines up with this little stop right here. So you're gonna make sure this spring lines up with this stop, and then when you put the top hat back on, same thing. You wanna make sure this lines up with that little stopper. So now we're gonna put the bump stop and whatever this little sleeve in back here. Alright, so as you can see, we got the spring back on the suspension, and then we got the top hat back on as well. All we did was put that bolt back on, tighten it up, make sure it's nice and tight. So now what we're gonna do is put this whole suspension back in the vehicle, and then we'll tighten everything up. Good. So yeah, once you get everything back together down there, so obviously we had to feed this through, put the bolts on both sides, and same on the one down here. Then back up here, you're gonna tighten these, but you have to torque them to the correct torque. So I have my torque wrench, and then so this crossbar is you're gonna want to torque it down to 41 foot-pound of torque, and then these other ones are going to be 20.7 feet-pound of torque. All right, so once you get everything tightened up here, go ahead and put these plastic pieces back on. Don't forget to turn these to the right since you're tightening them a half turn, and then everything's tightened up. So we're gonna go ahead and throw the wheel back on. Finish up with this side, and then we'll head over to the other side. I'm gonna do that side off camera, so just follow the same steps, same exact steps on this side, just on the other side, and then we'll lower it for you guys and show you what it looks like. All right, so we got the front side done already on both wheels on the front, so we're gonna lower it. I'll show you guys what it looks like, and then we'll go ahead and hit the back. All right, already. Woo. Remember when we started, it was 3-finger gap, and I can barely fit 2, and they're not even settled yet. So once they settle, they'll be even lower. So for the rear springs, we just jacked it up from the differential, so that way we didn't have to jack up both sides and put a jack on both sides. So we got both wheels off. So now we'll start the install of the rear springs. All right. So the first step back here on the rear that you're gonna want to do is you're gonna see 4 holes down here on this little plastic piece right here. You're gonna want to take out the little bolts that are inside of them. I believe they're 10mm, and then this will allow this plastic piece to drop, so you have access to these bolts. All right, so this is the piece I was talking about. So it's located under here. This is what it looks like when you take it out. Like I said, just 4 bolts, 10mm, and then it'll come right out. So for the rear, it's a lot simpler than the front. You're just gonna have to undo both of these, and then there's a nut on the other side that you're gonna have to hold while you're taking these out. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these taken out, and then we'll show you guys the next step. All right, so once you get these bolts removed, this one right here and this one right here removed, you're gonna pull this portion down, and as you can see, the spring that we need to remove is right here. come right on out, and replace that one with the Super Sports. Put it back in, tighten everything back up, and you're good to go with the back. So you want to make sure, we had a difficult time lining up these bolts down here. So what we did was jacked it up. You had to jack it up pretty high, and we actually had to put like a little bit of pressure and push this whole hub up a little bit in order to line up the lines and get the screws through. So just make sure you have a jack to jack it up, this whole portion right here, and then just kind of play with it to make sure the holes line up. So once you get everything tightened back up, we went ahead and tightened both of these bolts. So this one over here and this one right here, we just got an impact gun on it and held the other side. Make sure they're nice and tight. Once everything's tightened up, go ahead and just throw your wheel back on. We're gonna go ahead and do the other side, and then I will get back with you guys and show you guys what it looks like when we do the other side, and then we'll lower it for you guys. Alright guys, so we just finished up with the rear wheels. Just make sure you put all the bolts back into place. Make sure you put the plastic panels on both sides and tighten up those 10mm nuts. But let's go ahead and check out how it looks. As you can see on the front, I did it before. The front actually had 4 fingers, almost like 3.5, and now it barely has 1. You can stick 1 kind of at an angle, but 2 for sure is not gonna go. And once again, these are gonna settle more. Usually takes about a few days of just driving. I would give it up like a maximum of a week to actually settle. So I will definitely show you guys pictures of what it looks like once it's settled. But this is straight up, put the springs on, lower it. This is what you get. And this is the front wheel. On the back, the back is a lot lower, as you can see. You can kind of get 1 finger, kind of at an angle, but I think the fitment looks absolutely crazy right now. It looks really, really good, considering the wheel fitment and just how low the car is now and how low it sits. And like I said, this is gonna get even lower. Now I know in the garage it's not really a good look. You guys can't really see the full effect. So tomorrow morning when it's light outside, I'll actually go out and give you guys some shots, take some videos of what it looks like out on the road, out in a parking lot somewhere where the sun's shining, so you guys can actually see the car from different angles. Alright, so it is the next day. We have a little bit of sunlight left, so I wanted to go ahead and show you guys what the car looks like. You can see that the front has dropped quite a bit, and just looking at it from the front. And going around to the side, as you can see, absolutely no wheel gap there on the front. Going around to the back, and it looks like this one's even a little lower. Maybe even covering just a little portion of the wheel at the very top. Looks super good in my opinion. So there's both of them right there. Absolutely no wheel gap. And I'll show you guys the finger test. So about 1 finger in this one, and like I said, only at an angle. You really can't go straight on. As you can see, it like hits the tire right here. So only at an angle can you get a finger in there. And then same with the back. The back really straight on will hit the tire. You can only get a finger in there at an angle, and even that is kind of difficult. My finger, the bottom of my finger is kind of rubbing the top of the tire when I do that. So around to this side, once again, absolutely no wheel gap. Couldn't be happier. Looks fuego. As you can see, the car looks absolutely insane. It completely eliminated the wheel gap, and I couldn't be happier. The Super Sports is what I chose, the red ones. A lot of people go with the H&R Sports, which are the blue ones. I kind of want to be different. I see a lot of videos online, a lot of people going just H&R Sport, but I didn't see a lot of DIYs or just videos in general with the Super Sport. So I kind of wanted to be the guinea pig for you guys and do the Super Sports on this car. I know a lot of you guys have already asked me, to let you know when I install them. I'll also do a little review for you guys to let you guys know how the drive quality is as compared to the stock springs. But overall, I think it looks super good, and I'm super happy that I finally no longer have wheel gap. But just like that, that wraps up today's video. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. And if you like this video or helped you out in any way, please give it a thumbs up. And just like that, I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.